Greetings, ACTIVZ family. It's great to be here once again, September 15th. Welcome everybody who's here for the first time. David and I do this on the 15th of every month, and we appropriately call this the Founders Call. Actually, it's the Founders Zoom. We used to do calls, and now we do Zooms. But welcome everybody. It's great to see you again, or to have you on this Zoom. I wish I were seeing you. It's hard to believe we're in September. The summer is now behind us. We are entering fall, I think, in most parts of the United States. And hope you guys are all enjoying it. We are off to an incredible start. So we're going to talk a little bit about where we're going, where we've been some highlights from the last month. So David is joining us from Utah. I am joining from my house in California. And David, how are you doing? Happy September.
Thanks, Ryan. It's great. This is one of my favorite months because it's football season, and I love football. And it's actually interesting. I still think more of September being the start of the new year because of how it tied into new school years than I do January. And it seems like we're coming off this summer vacation, so to speak. I mean, the summer wasn't really a vacation, but it was a time when there's a lot of other distractions, lots of family things, barbecues, pool parties, and their actual vacations and things like that. They kind of take us away from business and divert our attention onto other things. And now September's here, the hot weather's going away, and it's time to kind of like buckle down and focus on what we're trying to do. And that's kind of what we are doing here at ACTIVZ. I think that the summer months were good. But I expect September to be great. And I think that the rest of the year is going to be great as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, we're right in the middle of September. There's a lot going on. It seems like there's been a drum roll all summer long, June, July, and August, leading up to September, because as you and I were talking, and everybody watching this should know, we're in the last and final month for qualifying for our Momentum Escape Deluxe trip, which is going to be January 15th through the 19th in Riviera Maya. And I know how January is, at least where I live. It's freezing cold. Where David, where you live, it's snowy. I guess we have some snow near me here. And what is so aspirational and what I dream about is going to warm weather. So it's going to be incredible to go to the Riviera Maya in January. And I hope that I'm speaking for all of you. So June, July, and August, they were more than a drum roll. There were incredible things and historic moments that transpired. But really, they've brought us to today. They brought us to where we are right now in September. And there's a lot at stake. Lots of people, hundreds of you are pre-qualified. I will just point out a couple of my highlights from this last month of August. Like you, it is sort of, definitely a greater demarcation from one year to the next, because I've got 4 kids who are going back to school, and they went back to school the last week of August. And so that it feels like we just did start a new year, but even though it's a new school year. But we had something special take place the second to last week of August, and that was an ACTIVZ Academy down in Mexico, in a new place, a small town called Querétaro, which was really magical, actually. And it was a great experience because we had some new trainers that had never trained before. We were packed. We had as many people as we could fit in. All of our new 8-8s travel down there. We paid for them to be there and to go through that training and to go through some personal development training some professionals that we hired to have there. And it was really neat. But what really stood out to me was I was able to see sort of the passing of the baton from some of our older guard top leaders to sort of the next generation. And some of you on this, well, we had A15 Noemi Garcia, we had A14 Lucy Serra, and then a new presenter who's never trained at any of these, Omar Pizarro, A13. And his younger brother, but who's an A16, sort of passed him the baton, and it was Omar's turn to be the trainer on stage and to do the breakout workshops that we do down there. And it was just incredible. It was an incredible experience to see someone with a very different personality, but very insightful, really step up and take the helm and take on that challenge that is to train all these new A8s, and then we had a bunch of people who bought tickets also. Some were quite a bit lower than A8s. And it was really gratifying to see someone who I think of as a brand new distributor now as an A13 and being looked up to and revered as this great leader. And he did just an outstanding job. They all did outstanding jobs, but that was certainly the highlight of August for me, was being down there in this. And I'll just tell you just a quick word, David. I know you and I have already talked about this, but I think for the benefit of everybody watching this, where we have this ACTIVZ Academy, and I would encourage all of you to qualify for the ACTIVZ Academy and to get there. That is such an important, critical step. If you want to make this, if you want to go full time and really live off of residual income that's offered at ACTIVZ, you got to qualify for the A8 ACTIVZ Academy. But it was in an old Spanish hacienda that was about 500 years old, and I felt like I was in Hogwarts from Harry Potter. I mean, that was really kind of the vibe there. And it's out in the middle of these rolling green hills and vineyards, just out in the country, and it was beautiful and expansive. I mean, it was really neat. And so, what a cool place to take people. And I'll say this, just a word about this, because it's been a while since I've done this, David. But the reason why we do events not in people's hometown, a lot of times people say, "Hey, why don't you just come here to where I live? That way, it's easier for me to get there and easier for my people to get there." Um, Something happens when we're taken out of our normal environment, right? Taken out of our element. It almost forces our minds to open and for us to assimilate new information and to have new experiences. And I learned a long time ago that taking people to places that inspire them, or where they can really experience things that they've never experienced, it really facilitates the learning process, and the overall experience. And so that's why when you qualify for an A8 ACTIVZ Academy, we're going to take you somewhere. We're going to take you somewhere that you've never been before. We try and make it as beautiful as possible. These are not tourist destinations on the coast in Cancun. These are usually sort of boutique locations that are off the beaten path, that really cause people who attend there to really take it all in, right? And to be able to visualize their future success and the future success of their families and their teams. And we bring in, like I mentioned before, experts in personal development, and we work on overcoming fears and overcoming self-limiting beliefs and things like that. So they're really, I highly recommend them. They are successful. We're being successful in helping to put people on sort of a fast track or a career path to the higher ranks when you qualify for these. So again, this is my plug for our ACTIVZ Academies. Make sure you qualify, right? We'll pay for you to get there. We'll pay for the entire weekend, and you will go back a new person, right? Ready to implement new best practices from some of our top leaders. So anyways, that was a highlight of my experience. In fact, I can't wait to go back to this location. David, you got to get down there the next time we do it at this location. It was really, really incredible. And I'll just close my comments talking about August, talking about September, because David, something really cool happened at the end of August. June, July, and August. And June is when we kicked off our current qualification for Momentum Escape. And what happened, culminating with the end of August, was remarkable. We have pre-qualified hundreds of people for these trips. We have never had over 650 people pre-qualified to go on one of our Momentum Escapes or Momentum Escape Deluxes. And at the end of August, I can't remember the number, 657, something like that. People pre-qualified had at least 5 new business partners that they had invited into the business. And this month of September, they're focused on helping those 5 business partners find at least one business partner, teaching them about AutoShip, teaching them to duplicate, and growing, hitting either A4 for the first time or growing 5% over where they were in May. So that's exciting. That's happening in this month of September. But August was remarkable in the sense that we have, I mean, that's Think about that. I mean, we're not that far from having 1,000 people pre-qualified for these trips. What's going to happen when we have 1,000 people qualify for these trips? We're going to have to be renting out, like 3 different resorts, which, frankly, I can't wait to get there as a company. So, anyways, David, what stood out to you in the month of August?
Well, all of the things that you just talked about, I do want to go to Querétaro one of these days and go to that hacienda. It's amazing as you were talking about kind of these steps that we encourage people to take to build their business. Starting with the Momentum Deluxe trip and qualifying for that. And you think about what those qualifications are, as you just explained, to invite people to join and become your business partners, and then to help them build their business. Now, that just seems like a natural way of building your business anyway. And it actually is, as you know. And so when people do that, their business is going to grow. But then to be rewarded with a all expense paid trip on top of doing what you really need to do anyway to build your business, the business part of me is like, man, wait a minute. Are we like paying way too much for this? And now I see why Jessica Alarcon she might soon look like you and me in terms of pulling her hair out and being able to make sure we can accommodate everyone at these resorts. But that's a problem and that's a risk we're willing to take. I don't know if Jessica's listening. If we cause her to lose all of her hair because we have 650 or 1,000 people qualifying, we will pay for a beautiful wig. So
Right.
it probably won't get to that, but it is exciting to see so many people running. And of course, that's why we changed the qualifications to help you hone in even more on those fundamental tasks, those fundamental things to do on your checklist of just invite and help. And that's exciting. And then to get to that next level of A8 to qualify for the academy and get that additional boost, you're well on your way to building something that's going to provide, long-term residual income for you and your family. One person, you talked about Omar, and I'm sure that just a couple of years ago, he would not have envisioned himself. Now, he's used to being in front of groups. He's a wonderful karaoke singer. He's got a great voice, but I'm not sure he envisioned himself training in a situation like that. And yet he stepped right in, did a wonderful job. And that's an example of not only how his business has grown, but as how he as an individual has grown and been able to, it's not that he always had the ability, he always had the talent, he just didn't have the vehicle to demonstrate those talents and abilities. And ACTIVZ has provided that for him. I think of his, no, I forget, is Danny his brother or his cousin?
Brother.
Brother, right? And so Danny was also in a situation in August that I also can guarantee that 2 years ago, probably 6 months ago, he didn't envision. You joined us as well on a Zoom call with distributors and new people looking at joining ACTIVZ in Japan. And so there, Danny was on a Zoom call talking to actually about 60 people. When you think of all the people that are there and the people that were actually in these various places, we had some places where there were 10 people or 12 people gathered, all looking at the screen, and he told his story, and it was translated from Spanish into Japanese, and people just loved it, and I think that that's a reason why Japan in August grew 50%. Now, it's not part of Danny's organization directly, but isn't it great that the influence of people reaching out and helping, even if it's something as simple as a Zoom call, and telling your story and why he was so excited about ACTIVZ in the first place, and the things he did to build his business, which is just what we always tell everyone in terms of following the success guide, really resonated with people, and I think is going to have a profound effect. We're going to invite him back and others as well to tell their stories. In fact, we hope that it'll be some of you that are on Zoom calls with Japan and other countries, whether it be here in the U.S., in Mexico, any of our Latin American countries, or other places around the world, because word of ACTIVZ continues to spread. And we're grateful for that, and it's exciting. I just finished a great meeting with Noemi Vinale's group in El Paso this past week. We also had ACTIVZ School in the U.S. this past week, and there's just one thing after another to plug into and help. If you're wondering how to do it, there's plenty of people and plenty of resources to basically hold your hand and say, this is how you do it. All you've got to do is bring the want, the why, and the energy, and other things just kind of take care of themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And I forgot that you were headed out to El Paso. That's great. Hope that was a
It
fun
was
meeting
awesome.
there.
Yep.
That's great. Um, David, listening to you talk, just thinking about my closing comments here, I want to remind everybody, you've probably heard, some of you have heard that at our last Momentum Escape Deluxe trip, which was, when was that? In June? That would
July,
know. When was
July,
that? That was
July.
in July. Wow. Okay. That was in July. It seems like a long time ago. We had about 400 people there, and we gave everybody a sample of a new product that's coming out. And you had to have qualified to attend this in order to sample that. We've been collecting some really great user feedback and experience, or we call them testimonials, but experiences from people. And we're developing something, and so looking forward, I want everybody to kind of stay tuned and check out social media, check out the post, because you're going to see some videos start posting. You might scratch your head and say, what are they talking about? What is this product? Well, this is what we're talking about. They're talking about a new product that people have been testing, that we are targeting November as a launch date for. We have not disclosed what the features are or what the benefits are. We've not shared what the ingredients are or anything like that. We're just having people use it. There's no caffeine in it. It's a healthy beverage. It's something that you don't drink with Arrow. I guess you could drink it with Arrow, but it's something that does something very, very different than Arrow. And we're very, very excited about the benefits of this new product and sort of its place with our family of products here at ACTIVZ. Why do I share that? Because I want to give everyone the heads up. You're going to be seeing some videos here very soon. And there's sort of a drum roll that we're going to be starting here between now and November, when this product is launched. I'm very excited about that product, but I'm also excited because just this last week, I never uh, cease to be amazed by the experiences. Again, we call them testimonials, that people have with our epigenetic products, the trifecta. I was talking to someone on the phone, and she just had to take the opportunity to share with me what was happening with her parents and her own health. And sometimes we forget. Sometimes I actually take it for granted, because we've got a few years under our belts now where we've been marketing these products, but I forget how novel they are. Epigenetics, guys, it's now, it's the future, and it's what uniquely differentiates our who we are as a company. So there's a lot to be passionate about, and you can, if you're new to ACTIVZ, go to epigeneticsinfo.com. Learn about epigenetics, learn about what the trifecta does. There's a lot of articles in both English and Spanish on that site. You can also go to, you can also Google it, epigenetics, but that's really the stake in the sand. So we're excited about that and looking forward to November. We have a number of members of our advisory board, medical advisory board, that are going to be in attendance at our November anniversary down in Mexico City. And in addition to that, in October in the United States, we have a number of advisory board members also. So if you haven't yet booked your tickets or pre-registered for that event in October in Utah, make sure you do that, because it's going to be, it's going to be another historical event for us. There will be more people there at that event than we will have had at any U.S. based events. So we're really looking forward to that, and as always, looking forward to the contribution of our medical advisory board members, who always do an incredible job. Dr. Joe Maroon and Jeff Bose are going to be there. And the research that they've been sharing lately, it's really cutting edge, and it's 100% relevant to what we're all doing here with our epigenetic line of products. So it's very exciting. And then David, lastly, you talked about sort of the ACTIVZ Academy as a stepping stone. I want to remind everybody that yes, we have, it goes without saying, we started this company because we had an opportunity to bring to market. First, it started with a product, and then products that were in category creators, really in a class of their own, Nerve 2 activation and epigenetics, right? And I can remember thinking, if we don't do it, someone else will. And that was in large part the impetus to start ACTIVZ. But we also, there's a reason why we decided not to just sell our epigenetic products, the trifecta, Genomics, Link, Optimend, Arrow, Imora, in stores. It's because to really take it to the masses, it requires real people to use real products that deliver real results, and then they will share their real stories with people. That's not something that you can replicate in retail, right? You just can't do it. Social media with their influencers, they're paid to do that, right? Our all of you are, are paid storytellers, but when you experience the results of the product. So for those of you who are interested in the business and are doing this as a business, whether it's from your phone, from your office, from your car, and you're doing it part-time, maybe you want to do it part-time, full-time, follow the path, right? I want you to go and revisit the success guide. It's a document that we published when we launched our company. It contains basic business building principles that pertain to the direct selling industry, right? This isn't if you're starting a software company, it's if you're starting a business with ACTIVZ. Really understand those principles, the principles on how to contact and invite. It's not just what to do, it's how to do it. There's tips in there. It's not just what to present, it's how to present. It's the art of following up with people. How do you follow up with people? How do you help people overcome objections and concerns, right? There's a lot of tips in there. And just over the last few weeks, David, I was asked to do a training. We had over 1,000 people one night in a training that I was doing, but I realized that there's a lot of new people who have never done this, and they're trying to figure this out, because what people are waking up to discovering is that this is a professional. This is not a hobby, right? It's not just some game and something you try and figure out, and if you're lucky, it'll work. You can actually hone your skills. This is a skill sport, right? Skills can be taught, trained, and improved on. And so that's why I say start with a success guide. Check out videos of the virtual office and the app, and watch what other distributors who are farther along the path than you, listen to what they say, listen to how they do it, right? And really treat this like a business, and it will pay you as a business versus a hobby. But the path is start by earning your first check. Start your business by qualifying for the 500 Club. And in your first 90 days, you ought to be qualifying for the Momentum Escape or Momentum Escape Deluxe trip, right? Do that right out of the gate, because when you're doing that, you're going to be earning money. You're going to be making way more money than what you're spending on this business, on your phone bill, on products, on other overhead expenses that you have to run your business. You'll be earning, a significantly higher amount. Then after you qualify for the event, focus on qualifying for the ACTIVZ Academy. Go from an A4 to an A8, right? That's going from $5,000 a month to $20,000 a month. And it might sound hard, but once you have $5,000 a month in sales, it's not all you that's doing the building, right? There's other people that are pursuing their dreams, that are reaching their goals. And it's easier than you think to get to that A8 or $20,000 level. When you hit that, get to A10, right? The average income for an A10 is about $5,000 a month. That's going from $20,000 to $50,000 a month in total sales. And while it may sound difficult, it's not as difficult as it sounds, right? It's just working a minimum of 2 hours a day, following a system. And I say, don't go to sleep at night till you've done at least 1 or 2 presentations, contacted 15 to 20 people, sent them out videos, send them out an article, send them out a recorded Zoom call. It's not difficult to find people who are looking to add to their household income. And a lot of people are looking to do it just using their phone. And that's the beauty of ACTIVZ. You can do it from your phone anywhere. You can do it from your car, from the park bench, or, from your living room. People like Omar and Danny that David was just talking about, guess how they started, right? Danny's an A16, Christine's an A16, Martine's an A16, earning a significant amount of money. They've all invested in their dream homes, and they're living the good life at this point. But they started out just working on their phones, guys. So my challenge for all of you is, don't let September go by without really knowing what you're working towards, right? What are you here for? Are you here because your aunt got you involved in actives, or your brother, or your sister-in-law, your neighbor, your ex-college roommate? What do you want to accomplish? And when you know what you want to accomplish, write it down, set a goal to reach that, because you can back into financial goals by just reverse engineering the ranks, right? Say, hey, how much does an A12 make? Well, an average of 10,000 a month. How much does an A13 earn? Well, it's closer to 15 grand a month. Actually, it's between 15 to $20,000 a month. So you can back into those goals. So guys, do that. And again, don't let September go by without helping as many people as you can on your teams finish their qualification for Momentum Escape Deluxe. In my mind, that's the most important thing that's going on in September, because while it is a one-size-fits-all approach, it really is a one-size-fits-all approach. Whether you're a brand new distributor who has a few business partners this month, or maybe you've got five, at least five, help them find one. Get yourself to A4. Let us pay for you and a loved one to get to the Riviera Maya in January, and we'll hang out there. You'll rub shoulders with our top leaders, members of our medical advisory board, and it will help you get to the next level. That's probably the single most important thing that you can do if you want to keep growing your business and reach your goal. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what's around the corner. Our focus needs to be on that, guys. Let's make a lot of noise for the Riviera Maya this next January, but you've got to get there. So do whatever you have to qualify. And David, why don't you bring us in?
Well, man, you got me excited. I just want to run out there and shout it to everybody. But I will say that I have had a chance lately to share. I'm not bashful about sharing why I love ACTIVZ so much, and why I love the product so much, and why it's so important. And people sometimes think I'm crazy. They think, well, of course, what else are you going to say? And of course, I have no problem bringing in the science as well. Aren't we glad that the scientists who developed our products, aren't like we are sometimes? They didn't say, man, it really would be good. Nerf 2 is so awesome for the body. It can help, it's beneficial for lowering inflammation and all these other things. And so I think I'll work on it like once every other week. Or maybe I'll take a couple months off here and then I'll get back to it because I know it's really important. Aren't we glad that they stayed with it, even though they didn't see they didn't have a breakthrough immediately. It took determined little steps to get to where they wanted to go. And unfortunately, that result was a great product for us. Now, Ryan, as you know, just in closing, we were at another company where they had another Nerf 2 product, and it had been in retail for 5 years. Okay. And it was struggling. It hardly did anything in sales. And then it took the magic of, some people might say, what? The magic of network marketing? Nope. The magic of MLM? Nope. The magic of the wonderful missing ingredient. And the missing ingredient, the activating ingredient, was people. We needed people, like you said, to get out and tell the story. And that made all the difference. Rather than just sitting on a shelf, hoping that somebody could see it or tell the story, it took massive action by people who just said, I want to use this as a vehicle for me and my family. And that's what's happened with us too. The products are great, but the products without you are nothing. And you with the products, and the success guide and the compensation plan are part of the product offering from ACTIVZ. So you, with those tools in hand, can really build the things you want to do. And as they often say, never said it would be easy. It just said it'd be worth it. And if you have any doubt, ask some of the leaders who have gotten in and really ran for it. Do you think Danny Pizarro thinks it was either easy or worth it? The answer is, he didn't think it was easy, and it's entirely worth it. And I think that there are a lot of other Christina Godoy's, Martine Litas, Danny Pizarro's out there listening right now, who have everything it takes to go out there and make your dreams come true. And we're going to be with you hand in hand, step by step, every step of the way. So on that note, we hope you all have a great September. I'm looking forward to seeing you at these upcoming events in October and November. There's lots of great announcements and other things. And just hold on tight and keep running with us. So that's all I've got, and hope to see everybody soon. Ryan?
Thanks, David. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you same time, same place next month, 15th of November. And like David said, we'll see you at an upcoming event. Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.